Hey Peaceful Army, Grestiest Lindsay here. Before we get started with the fun stuff in this episode, we wanted to take a moment to use our voices and address the conversation that's happening in our community right now. Zoey and I personally are unequivocally in support of a ceasefire and freedom of the Palestinian people. And while we are not experts, we've been trying to keep ourselves up to date with people who are. If you're a listener who would also like to stay up to date and do what you can to help the people of Gaza, we have some links in our bio on Instagram that will take you to reporters and charities we ourselves are following. We also wanted to remind everyone to call your government officials, as they are the ones making the decisions that affect the most people in this conflict. While we would absolutely love for Greta to come out and say that they also hold these beliefs, we personally feel compelled by the messages of peace in their music to take our own action. Greta's voice matters, but so does your own, and how we treat each other above all else. So for those people using their platforms to censor the marginalized and spread that message of peace, keep going. Keep providing love where there is not love. And without further ado, enjoy the episode.
Peaceful Army.
Peaceful Army.
Welcome to the podcast of the Peaceful Army.
What? Really?
And I'm not sorry.
What does it mean?
Oh my god!
Greta's gonna wreck my shit.
Yes, I'm obsessed with Greta Van Fleet, and what do you care?
I think I'll make this my entire identity.
That was not very Peaceful Army of you. If you don't like it, you can fuck off!
Welcome to the podcast of the Peaceful Army. I'm your Grestie host, Lindsay.
I'm Grestie host Zoe, but we have another Grestie that's joining us today.
Oh my god.
This person, you may have seen on our Instagram, we announced that we're having our first host ever. This is a big day. This is very awesome, very important day for us, and we're so excited. This person has quite a following on TikTok. They post Greta Van Fleet games, they post video clips. They're really involved in the Greta community. And they might be one of the biggest Gresties there is. And that is...
I agree.
Right? And
I think so.
that is our guest, Dan from GrestieVanFleet.
Welcome.
Hello. Hi, my name is Daniel from GrestieVanFleet, and I feel phantasmagorical about being on Podcast of the Peaceful Army.
Yes.
We feel
Yay.
phantasmagorical having you on the podcast today. It's a big day.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So
Wonderful to be here.
Yeah. So I guess we should start with the most important thing, and that would be your grestimonial, as we call it here. So tell us how you got into Greta Van Fleet. Where was that like light bulb moment for you? Or like Lindsay, how she just waited and waited and waited and then finally succumbed.
I waited all my life.
Yes, waited all your life. So we love to hear how people got into them. Maybe if you want to name a favorite song, whatever you feel like you want to share.
Sure. So my Grestimony, my Greta Van Fleet story started way back, just like Lindsay, I believe you said this, with Saturday Night Live.
Yeah. Yep.
I was playing Call of
Me
Duty
too.
in 2020 when we had a lot of time at home, and a friend of mine sent me a reel of "You're the One" on Saturday Night Live, and it was that viral meme, and I didn't think anything of it. He was like, "Oh, that music's pretty good." I was like, "Cool, let me check it out," and I did, and I just didn't really think anything of it. Didn't listen to much music at that point, but then all of a sudden, literally the next day, he was like, "Hey, have you heard their other music?" And that was it. My second listening of Greta Van Fleet was it. It literally was a snowball effect. It was horrible. I had did not ever listened to them that I could remember. All of a sudden, it was all I was listening to, and
Lightning strike.
yeah, I don't know what happened, and it's been like 3 years of being the top 0.0000001% of listeners to them,
Mhm.
and yeah, like I said, it just snowballed. I was supposed to, I got tickets for the Dreams and Gold tour for Tampa in October, 2021, 2022.
Too.
On the
Yeah,
street.
'cause
It's on the street.
I think that's around the time I went.
Yeah. So like 2 weeks before they were supposed to have the concert, bronchitis hit and they
Yeah.
canceled the show. We had to just wait until March. So I was like, oh, how could they do that to me like it was a personal attack? Thanks, Josh.
Thanks.
But that was literally outside of my wedding. I love my wife. How you doing? Outside of my wedding, it was the best night and like the most exciting experience I've ever been to. And somehow I was even more obsessed because what I'm nervous about is that feeling will never come back.
Oh,
Yeah.
So I went to that Dreams in Gold tour.
Mhm.
Fast forwarding, I've been to Madison Square Garden. I was at that show. Were you anyway?
Wait,
Either of
I
you
was
at
there
that?
Here's
too.
there.
Awesome.
I was
I was in the
there.
pit.
I was
Were you
on
in
the
the pit?
floor. I was in like 5 rows back on the floor.
Oh, really? Okay.
Mhm.
So I just hung out like all the way in the back of the pit, like on the back railing, because I just wanted my space and me and my two buddies. Um, so that was September. That was a good time. My family lives in New York, so I was able to go and see them too. Um, did that. Here we are. We got the second leg, and I used my electric tomb pre-sale code
Nice.
to get. I was number 2 in line in Ticketmaster,
oh,
and I got floor tickets for like $60.
Yeah,
So did we.
we got those for St.
How
Louis. I
awesome!
was like, what
Dude.
what show? If I could cut this out if you don't want it in there, but
Yeah,
what
yeah.
show are you going to?
Oh no, Charleston.
Cool.
I might be booking tickets to go.
Oh really?
So
I'll see you there. You know, when those tickets dropped, I wasn't planning on actually buying tickets. Um, but once I saw they were $60, it was game over. I said I wasn't planning on going to another Starcatcher concert. I was like, I saw it already. It didn't feel the same as Battle or Dreams in Gold, but
yeah.
obviously, again, it was like the third best night of my life.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I
what else do you
agree.
want to know? My Grestimony. What else is that?
What's your favorite
Hmm.
song?
Yeah.
If you
That's
have one,
rude.
if you can pick.
It's
Or a
very
top
Yeah.
hard to
5.
pick.
Mm-hmm. So I think it used to be When the Curtain Falls,
Mm.
but I think Flower Power is like my quintessential Greta Van Fleet song. It's
It's
like
a
it
good one.
perfectly embodies everything that Greta Van Fleet's all about.
Mm.
Also, they played it in Tampa for the Dreams and Gold
Mm.
tour, and you don't even want to see the video. I don't even want to ever see the video ever again of my reaction to that happening in real
Yeah.
time.
Mhm.
It's embarrassing.
There are so many embarrassing videos of me at the Boston show that I went to because my boyfriend kept recording the stage and then he'd switch to me and I'm like, ah! Because I was like, Jake Kiska's real. He's right there. Like, what the hell?
okay. Let's talk about that though. That's the scariest part of the live shows is you guys are actually here. That's
You're real. You're right
You're
in front
not
of me.
supposed to be there. You're supposed to be in my phone. You're supposed to be on my computer.
But you know, if you're like me, it still doesn't seem like they're real.
No.
It
No.
still doesn't seem real. Like I was
They're like,
10 feet away on the
Yeah.
catwalk, and I was literally like this, just staring, dumbfounded, like that's a real person that's
Yeah.
making my favorite music. How honored
Yeah.
am I?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so funny. And like watching them perform live, you're like, they can't be doing all that. How is that
What is he
even a
doing?
thing? Thing?
How is Jake going that fast? Real time. How is Josh singing not only the pitch above the pitch, he's singing higher than the recording. How? How?
They're magical.
Better than the
I
studio.
swear.
It's
Yes.
literally better than the studio, and that's like so unheard of in today's age. Like,
You know, I felt when Starcatcher, when the album came out, do you feel like this? Do you feel the same as me when I was like, ah, it's not Battle at Gardens Gate, but I am almost at the level where like Starcatcher is Battle at Gardens Gate is my number one. I think that's their like
Yeah.
perfect album.
yeah,
But
it is.
if there was a one little like millimeter notch lower, I think it's Starcatcher of
Oh,
all of
yeah.
them.
Oh yeah.
It grew on me like a fungus.
I
Yeah.
think that one did take a lot of time for it to grow on me because I remember I just went to see the Barbie movie and it ended like right at midnight. And I was like, okay, Greta Van Fleet time. It came out, like
Yep.
we're listening to it in the car right home. And I was like, I don't know, why does Josh's voice sound weird in here? And then I just
It's lower
slowly
back in
started
the
listening
mix.
to it more, and I was like, "Oh, wait, no, this is really good." I just have to mess with some of the settings on my phone, and I can't stop listening to that album. I love it.
Is there any how do you feel about Runway Blues? I know we've
It's
talked about
a
it, but let's rehash it.
rehash. That's a running joke of ours, is that Zoe hates it, and she
I
doesn't,
don't hate it.
but
I like it. I think it's very, I don't know, just makes me wanna go, like, it's
Mhm.
it's a hype song for me. I don't love the fact that it's half of a song.
Yeah,
That's my only beef with it, is, like,
yeah,
if you were gonna put it on the album, even though I know there was, like, contention about putting it on the album in the first place, if you're gonna put it on there, put the full fucking thing on there. Don't give me
yeah.
half of a song as Jake is heading into a solo and cut it off, like, but the first half of the song, love it. I
Yeah.
just wish there was more.
I hated that song for the longest time, and the
Clickbait.
second I
Oh
heard
my
that
god, clickbait.
"Ba-da-meow," I would I would skip so fast when I heard that come on. But I think something's happening currently where it comes on, and I'm listening to the whole thing. I don't know what's happening, but I feel like it's gonna progress into like, I wish the song was longer. But
Yeah.
also, before the album came out, I was most hyped for that song because I was like, "Oh my god, they're going back to, like, bluesy style
Yeah.
music, like, real classic early Greta Van Fleet stuff that you see just, like, on YouTube." But when it came out, I was like, "Ah!" So I think I had too high of an expectation, and then all of a sudden
Mhm.
it came out, and I was, like, a little disappointed. But I think I forgot about that, and I'm just getting back to that, like, let's listen to
Yeah.
the whole song now, and then all of a sudden, that's gonna be my ringtone.
It's a
I
perfect
love that
ringtone,
that's how
honestly.
Greta is though in general. Like it really is stuff that once you listen to it several times, then you can start to take apart the layers and enjoy different parts of it after you've like ruminated on it. Because for me, it was a little bit of a different experience where I knew about Greta from SNL era, but I didn't really get into them. I listened to only Stardust chords for a whole year, which, now we're tatted, so
Oh,
Oh,
makes
yeah, you
sense.
flex.
guys. Yeah.
We did, we got him. But, the way that I was introduced to Greta was first and foremost, like, the week Starcatcher came out, I was like, "Alright, I'm ready. I'm ready to be a part of this." So I went to a early vinyl release party with, like, Gresties, all, like, super big, like, fans, even before I was a super big fan. And it was a very magical experience to, like, hear this music that I wasn't really familiar with, but feel the energy of the other Greta fans there. And I think that colored it for me. But even I, like, it wasn't my favorite until I went back and listened to it a couple times. But it has a special in my heart, place in my heart now. And I think that that is probably like because it's been a little bit of time. And that's probably how
Yeah.
you guys feel about Battle of Gardens Gate, where I'm like now looking back on it and having like summer nostalgia. Oh, look at me. I didn't know anything then.
Do you remember when before Starcatcher came out? Not do you remember? Of course you do. But did you go to any listening parties?
Yeah,
I did not.
that's what I was at, was the vinyl
Those are the
listening
ones.
party.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did you go?
So in Indy, there is a historic vinyl shop close to where my school was. I'm so bad.
Cool.
It was a back to school day, and I was running back and forth.
It's
Look at
worth it.
me. It was
Mhm.
Did you?
because I knew that I was gonna be at this level. I tend to hyperfixate, but I knew Greta was gonna be that big of a hyperfixation where I was like, okay, I am like giving up a lot to try to do this right now, but I think it's gonna be worth it because I know I'm gonna love this to a silly degree, to a podcast degree. And I was right.
Yeah.
To a
I
podcast
unfortunately
degree.
couldn't take any time
Mhm.
off of work, and I just couldn't. The nearest place to me was like 40 minutes away, and I was like, I can't swing this right now. It just
Mhm.
was too hard, and I'm like so sad about it. But next one, I'm gonna be first in line. You best believe I'm gonna be there with all my tote bags, my t-shirts, my sweatshirts. I'm showing up representing.
It was really cool to meet
Next.
other Greta Van Fleet fans.
It
So you
is.
went to one too?
Yeah, I went to one in Orlando, but it kind of pissed me off because
Hmm.
I got there early. I was like sixth or seventh in line,
Mm-hmm.
and I waited like 2-3 hours to get
Mhm.
in because of the slip mats, you know.
Yeah.
And as we're going in, they gave us the little rectangular poster,
Mhm.
but they decided to raffle off the slip mats. So you could have
Yeah.
gotten there an hour later, you know, like
Yeah.
an hour after it started and still won one. So I was like a little pissed off. They should
Mm.
have done like the
Yeah.
first 10 people or
That's what
people
they
that
did at
actually
mine.
waited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rude.
I just went to a release party or vinyl listening party for the new Green Day album last Saturday, and they did the same thing where they gave you posters and a bracelet and stuff, but then they were raffling everything off. And they didn't tell people that till like halfway through that they were doing
That's
the
so
Yeah.
raffle,
annoying.
and people were like, I've
Why
been
was I
here for
here?
2 hours. I'm like,
Yeah.
Right.
and I showed up
I could have
15
just
minutes
came
late.
anytime.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
Um.
I get why they do that, but it's also like I took time out of my day to be here so I could get this, and now so
Yeah.
Exactly.
Ugh. I hope. Listen, all of the systems of pit and raffling and all that craziness makes me stressed out. But God, what was I wanted to bring it back to you said next time for an album. Dan, are you a double album truther? Yes or no?
Yes. Yeah.
Me too.
From the mouths of Danny, there's a double
Yeah.
album on the way.
Yeah.
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 And that's like, I think they're doing what the Beatles did. I think they just have a huge catalog of music that they haven't released, and they're just like
Mhm.
picking from it and being like, over a weekend they make like 3 songs, and all of a sudden there's like 100 songs that aren't released, and they're like, all right, this album, what works with the Greta Van Fleet universe?
Yeah.
What's next in the storyline? And then just like, all right, here's a
Into
double
the
album.
Sonic Awesome. Yeah.
The Infinite
Yeah.
It's so rich. It's so
Such a
good.
crazy word.
It
It's
is.
so fine, so nice. Oh my. Oh my.
That's my
Uh,
favorite vocal swim to do. I love
Yes.
that one.
Yes. So
See,
good.
but I do think there's another album coming soon, hopefully, but I worry that they've been pretty consistent with that 2-year release mark,
True.
that maybe it's like contracted that they can't like release stuff as soon as they want
Mhm.
to because they have touring, they have other things, they need each album to have their time.
Yeah.
That's my one worry.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
I don't know. They announced Starcatcher like right at the end of Dreams in Gold tour. Like it was like hours, I feel. But I think they're probably going to tour for the better part of this year,
Mm-hmm.
and then 2025, early 2025 or late 2024, they're going to be like, "Yep,
So long.
got a new album in
So
July
long.
of 2025." So it is
Ugh.
almost 2.5 years, you know.
Yeah,
Oy.
I think we'll get an announcement, but
Yeah.
I mean, Dreams and Gold and Starcatcher, like don't know if everything was delayed because of COVID and everything that was
Probably.
going on in the world. Like I know a lot of the concert dates got pushed. So
Mhm.
I don't know if that also meant they had to push the album. So maybe they were planning on releasing it or something sooner, but who knows right now with the music industry? They could very well have the right to drop something tomorrow and make us all scream and cry. But
That would be so rude. If they drop something tomorrow, rude. How dare you?
I have a big
Yeah,
day
yeah.
building Legos, so I can't
I
actually.
can't. I'm busy.
Amazing.
I have Sunday scaries to
Sorry.
feel. You can't do that to me.
You kidding me? You're
Uh,
going to be busy? I'm listening to it 6 times.
Listen, I'm
But
gonna
you know
listen
what?
to it 6 times.
I
What I
will.
need them to release, I need
Mm.
them to release anything with Always There.
Mm.
I need that song in my life other than the one recording that I listen to. And
Yeah.
they're not going to. But I need it. Like, when does that contract run up?
Right.
I know. Well, that's something that like it's so hard when you're making songs for soundtracks because that is like then part of the studio's like stuff and not necessarily the artist. So it's like, can we do like a live recording? Can we do a Greta Van Fleet
Yeah.
version, like Taylor's version? Like, can we get
Yes.
something so we can have that? Because I
Right.
want it on vinyl. I want to listen to it on vinyl, and I don't want to have to
Yes.
buy a whole soundtrack to do that, but I
Yeah.
will.
Is that your song? If you heard it live, you would die happy.
Yes, and Age of Man. I heard if I could just listen to it again with the appreciation that I have for the song now,
Yep.
I could die happy.
Yeah.
Did
But
they
that
play
I
that
haven't
in
then
Tampa?
I can't remember, and that's the thing. I want to hear it. I think they did. I just didn't really care for it at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't watch Red Rocks enough because at the time that that Tampa show, I wasn't as big of a fan as I am now, where I appreciate the
Yep.
songs for not just music but like
Yeah.
stories behind it, and the way that they end like that song and so many other songs, but that song, it's like if there was one song that I would play for another species, it would be that.
Mm.
Play for another species.
No,
The
I get
aliens come
that. I
down to
totally
Earth.
get that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would
exactly.
100% I would, because it's such a good it's the best of humanity is Age of Man, whereas Age of
Yeah.
Machine is the worst. But if I want the
And it
aliens to
feels
like
like it.
me, yeah,
Yeah, play them
yeah.
Age of Man.
Yeah.
I think Age of Man was in the encore at our show. Like they ended with I think Age of Machine and then came back to do Age of Man. So
Love that.
it was kind of like a weird backwards thing.
Mhm.
But we got Weight of Dreams and I was like,
Mm.
this is so cool, guys, guitar. Yay, guitar solo because I wasn't a big huge crazy fan at the time. And then
Yeah.
after I'm like, you squandered
Crying.
that. You didn't listen intently enough. I have like 2 recordings of it and I watch it. I'm like, why aren't you screaming, crying? Like
that is how I feel about my, and I understood the weight of it. I just didn't appreciate it hearing Tears of Rain live. I did get to
That's
hear Tears of
insane.
Rain live. I did.
Like that's a hard song.
It's insane. He's above the pitch. Who will bring the rain? Yeah. He's literally going higher than he does on the recording. I don't understand.
Acoustically, like B stage, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Fucking B stage like it's
So
nothing.
you hear
It
everything.
was insane. It was insane. It was incredible. And I didn't I knew it was a good song, but I hadn't really read the lyrics and really gotten into it. And now that I have done that and I realize where it is in the story, it's the same. It's the same thing where it's like, oh, I wish I had known and I could go back and relive it.
That's where I am with Tears of Rain. I'm like, it's a good song, but it's not my favorite of any of. It's not even the top 10 for me. But if I heard it live, that's a totally different story. It would hit different, and I'm like, I connect with it.
Yeah. I
Listen,
remember
y'all both did Dreams and Gold, so I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it because I will be mourning that till I die that I didn't go to Dreams and Gold.
I know.
Yeah.
I have my morning show. My show that I mourn about is Strange Horizons Bridgeport. And there were 2 nights. I could have gone to any one of them. Like, God, idiot, but it happens.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, you got a nice little album up there on the wall.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, she's even got a
I
version
see.
of it.
Yeah.
That was like my dream vinyl. I was like, I want that vinyl because I wasn't there because I was stupid. I didn't have anybody to go with me. So I was like, I'm not going to this area in Connecticut that's not super safe by myself. And
Whole point.
I regret it. So now I have to listen to it on this, which I'm fine with. It's still good.
A good vinyl. It's a good one.
Just put on some VR and or just find some psychedelic visuals. Put on a VR headset and be like, I'm here at Bridgeport.
I'm right here.
Smoke them if you got them, and put on the headset.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And have your champagne and caviar.
Yeah.
But if you could go back to a concert in the past, or at least a performance, would it be Strange Horizons? What would yours be, Lindsay? Or both of them?
For
Mine would be
Greta,
Strange.
right?
Yes, for Greta. Oh, for for Jack Johnson.
I'd go see the Beatles.
Shea Stadium,
Yeah, well,
Beatles Shea Stadium. Let's go.
Let's go.
I lived at Chase Stadium as a teenager, and I I still didn't believe that. I still don't believe that they played there. Like, how does that
crazy.
happen? Biggest band in the world.
They were in St. Louis. This is a kind of a deep cut, but they were in St. Louis, where I'm from originally, in 2018. And I do think if I had been a Greta fan in 2018, my life would be on a vastly different trajectory. So that's my show, I think, is going to
Okay.
that one. I don't know
All
if it was
right.
like great or whatever, but if I had been there, I think I would be a very different person right now.
Yeah. A
Well,
life
you know what?
changing.
Things happen for a reason. You had to take your time because maybe we wouldn't
did.
have met if that was the case.
Yeah. Wow.
Everything happens for a reason.
I
It
guess.
does.
What's yours? What's your time warp show? Where would you go?
Red Rocks.
Oh,
Duh.
duh.
Duh. We literally say this all the time. Like, it's your
It's Red
comfort
Rocks.
movie. I am weird with Red Rocks, where it's like so sacred to me that I can't watch it that much. Like, I have to be in the right mindset when I watch it.
Do you want to
I
hear a
get it.
funny story? My grandfather, who was like in his 70s, got a VR headset for Christmas because apparently he wanted one. And
Amazing.
I was like, oh, you could watch YouTube on these. Did you know? And he was like, no, can you set it up for me? First thing I do, pop that VR headset on, Red Rocks Greta Van Fleet. And I'm like, oh my God, I need to
Was it
least
good?
just to watch this.
I'm sure it's good.
Insane. It's like
Ugh.
the way the VR works is like you're sitting in a theater, but it's just your one seat and you're looking up at a big screen.
I need to do
It
that.
was insane.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, so it puts you in the sphere, essentially.
Kinda. Yeah. It's
You know?
crazy.
Wow.
That'd be so cool.
That is really cool. Speaking of Red Rocks, have you ever? I actually just discovered this recently. I didn't download all of Red Rocks and cut it together so that it's one seamless show. And the credits, I didn't do that, but the credits. Have you listened to the end credits of the encore? It sounds like a war zone, a battle zone.
Shut up.
We might have to have a theories episode too.
Wait. So is it at the end of the YouTube video, or
Like part
Yes.
3, end of part 3?
So there's part 1, 2, 3, encore video, and then end credits of the encore video. It sounds like a war zone. It sounds like
shut
I feel like
up.
the start of Battle at Gardens Gate.
Yeah, that's gotta be right.
It's really weird. It's muffled sound effects of like it sounds like it's either like a construction site, which doesn't make any sense, or like a war zone.
Hold on a second.
You
I
have
don't
to
know why
listen
I've
to
never
this.
heard this
I didn't
I
either
might
until
pull this up.
this week.
till you were not editing.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly what I meant. But
Yeah.
everything Red Rocks really is. I think that is the pinnacle of live performance. Somebody
You
said
said
that.
the after credits?
No, for the credits. Like actually go
Oh.
to like the credits part. The music stops
Okay.
and then it's credits. Listen to it.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to I'm going to share
Fascinating.
my screen. I hope it doesn't copyright us.
I mean,
I
if it's a
don't
short,
think it is.
if it's under 30 seconds, it should be fair use, right?
It's not even music though. It's
we'll
just like
see.
sound effects.
Mm.
Okay, hold on. Share screen.
I'm so excited.
Also,
Oh my god.
if it's a battle, if it's the battle at Gardens Gate, we're all there with them because we're the army, the peaceful army.
We're literally
So
the
like,
army.
we approve.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys could
Get
see
ready.
my screen. Why do I have
Mhm.
this? Let me know if you can hear it. That's the most important part.
Yeah.
It's very weird and ominous.
What the hell?
Just wait for it. It's really weird. vibe of Red Rocks at all.
No.
It almost sounds like an old ship creaking.
You're right, it does.
Or bombs dropping.
Those
The
sounded
hell?
like
What?
missile cannons, something. I literally just discovered this recently, and
That's so
I was like, I have to
strange.
talk about this.
Yeah, this is the place. This is the place.
This is the place for that.
How
Oh
did
my
What
we
is
not?
god.
that?
We just watched this. How did we not notice that?
We didn't watch the encore.
Shut
It's
up. We
subtle.
didn't watch the encore?
We didn't watch the encore. I was getting sleepy by Act 3, and I was like, I gotta go sleep.
I don't know if the
So-
credits have something similar also, but I don't think so. I think it's just like the crowd.
Yeah.
But what year? When did it come out? Was it right before Battle of Gardens Gate? I think
2019.
2019.
Well, it was
So
filmed 2019. Didn't it come out 2020?
Filmed, it says 3 years ago. Filmed in September 2019. Why won't it tell me?
I remember
when
Karen
it's-
talking about it on a podcast, and it was in the midst of 2020. She was like, "Yeah, it's good that we have that because they can't tour right now."
October 1st, 2020
Okay.
is when
When
they
did
posted the video.
when did Gardens Gate come out?
Spring of
21?
2021. I think April or May of 2021.
So exciting.
I just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah.
You know, because that was something very strange. Because I had it playing on my TV,
Mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden, the credits came on, and I've never heard that before because I always skipped to something else or turned it off. You know, and I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It just
It
didn't fit the
almost-
vibe of Red Rocks.
Mm-mm.
What was the first single that was released off of Battle of Gardens Gate? My Way
Had to be-
Soon?
I thought it was Heat Above. Right?
See, I don't remember because I wasn't listening to them at that point.
Same. I have no idea. I only know Starcatcher.
Okay.
First single released off of.
Oh, you're right. It was My Way Soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was like,
Released-
does the
Shut
vibe
up.
tie you?
Shut up. October 9th, 2020. That's when they dropped it. So it would have been like
8
Right around
days
there.
after.
Shut up. I love them so
Okay.
much.
All right. We're on to
The
something here.
timelines fit. Here's the thing is I love that every Grestie has a different take because then things start to make sense, right? Like we all have our own things we're thinking about. And then when I bring them to Zoe, she's like, wait, what have we thought about this? And I'm like, oh my God, have we thought about this? And then you're just like, wait, what about this? And now we can put the puzzle together.
We
is
only
very
have
puzzly.
3 pieces of the puzzle. There are so
I
many other
know.
Gresties that have different theories. So it's like if we were able to hear everybody's theory, we could probably say, all right, let's get the big war room wall and let's just start like you know, it's
Yes.
like the meme, the Always Sunny in Philadelphia meme, where it's like
Yes, that's
try
my
to-
yeah.
favorite meme.
let's go.
Oh yeah.
Pepe Silva.
You know?
Yeah.
Us every
It
single
would
time.
be that.
It
I-
is. Every single episode it is.
When we did our
Mhm.
when I did the episode about the art and like all the symbols, I had my iPad and I had like scribbles of notes all over this one piece of paper. I was like zooming in, noting things, like drawing on pictures. I was like, I thought I was doing the freaking Da Vinci Code at that point. Like I
Yeah.
was convinced that I was unlocking massive brain power.
Can
I
I
can't-
bestow?
Yes.
I'm gonna.
Yes, we need
can
to
I give
hear
you
your
a
theories.
theory, a new theory? I don't know if you've.
Please
I
do.
did post it one time on my page, or maybe it was on Instagram. I can't remember. But my theory about meeting the master. It's not going to be a true
Yeah.
theory, but oh Siri, I don't understand either. So meeting the master came out. Everyone was like, "What does this mean?" But
Mhm.
I think it's a story it's not actually, but this fits the story of Meeting the Master. It's a story about a dog getting adopted, and it's a bond that's created with its owner or the master, and it's told from the dog's perspective. And dogs are pack animals, and they see their owner as masters of their pack, and they rely on their master to go outside for walks, whatever, clean up their poop and feed them and get groomed and all that sort of stuff. So I think the song is broken up into 4 sections. So, what a day to meet the master. I've been waiting for so long. Final day to meet the master. It's my time to go home. That's like their adoption day. All of a sudden, a new order came in, getting adopted, signing the paperwork. The dog's in like the waiting room. And then next part of the song is, and I'm taken by the madness and the tripping and the touching. That's arriving at a new place with, in a new home with new humans, a new environment, smells, and it's just all overwhelming. And that's why it's like the peak of the song. And then it goes back. What a day to travel faster, take my trip around the sun, which is usually take my trip around the sun is the birthday or an adoption day. My dog adopted him May 5th. That's his new birthday because we don't know when he was born.
Right.
And the rest of the song is about like the dog's bliss of, having a new owner and the new sense of life that adoption got this dog, or has adoption gave this dog. That's where I am.
Love that interpretation.
That's so
Josh
sweet.
is such a puppy, so it makes sense.
He is a puppy
Give
dog,
him
guys.
all of our love, unconditional love, all of our love, all of our love.
I feel like even though it's like obviously you can make up whatever characters, right, that like align with it, but that is kind of how I view whoever the character is that we're hearing about Josh sing in Meeting the Master. Like they really are viewing the world like that in a very almost childlike way. So I think that's good. I like to think of it that way.
Why not?
I definitely think
Music.
some sort of like entering a new place, whether it is like an animal, a person, whatever, like any new experience in life, you're like so drunk on like the change and like how exciting something is. And that's what I get from that. Like when you get a new job and you're like, oh my God, this is going to be the job that changes my life. I'm so excited. Like, this is great. I can't wait to make money and love this job, even though that might change. But that like new excitement, So
that initial like feeling of fulfillment.
Yes, exactly.
Even if there's something tumultuous underneath. Because that's what I love about Meeting the Master, that like something else is going on here. Like something on a higher plane, I feel like. That's my take on Meeting the Master, is like
it's like a lot of Disney movies. A lot of people watch Disney movies. They're villains. You meet this like big high and mighty character that like, oh my gosh, this is like the hero for our main character. All of a sudden is a twist at the end. It's like the villain, but we don't know if it's going to happen or when it's going to happen.
Dan, I think one of your videos was one of the first like meme videos of Greta that I saw, and I was like, yeah, Greta sounds cool. If there's somebody making content like this, Greta's chill as hell. I think it was one of your videos.
I know you. So in your first episode, you mentioned my page about Greta Van Fleet hot take. Do you remember? Well, I mean, all of those Led Zeppelin videos.
You have a lot of hot takes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get into it because the stuff you're doing on TikTok, top notch. No, I don't remember which hot take it was, but it must have been. I mean, it would have been around September, October. So whatever was your hot take around then. That's. I was like, I
could have been anything. Could have been Runaway Blues.
Could have been.
Might have. So, shall we get into the topic that everyone loves to talk about when they're talking about Greta Van Fleet?
So much.
Aren't you so excited? I loved your video that you did, Dan, where you were talking about like that comparison. And I think I just want to say, I think there's hope with this new album that people are finally stepping out of that Greta is Zeppelin. But the people who've known them for a long time and have heard them from the early stages, I don't think they're going to grow out of that. What's your opinion?
I can understand casual listeners of the band not knowing that they've evolved. I can understand the people saying how he sounds like Robert Plant of Led Zeppelin. I get it. There are a lot of similarities between his singing in their early work, but to compare Josh singing The Falling Sky to Robert Plant now? Are you kidding? It's just people who are saying that aren't taking the time to do their homework. They're just living in what they know of how it used to be. Now, what they
Yep.
used to be, yes, there are little influences of Robert Plant, but there's influences of so many other bands of the past,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
so many that you just pinpointing it down to that is like offensive almost.
Yeah.
It's not anything that I care about, really. Go ahead. The more you listen and comment on a video, the more it helps engagement and,
Yep.
growing a social media page. But to actually think that, it just means that you didn't do your homework and you've only listened to early Greta Van Fleet, where there were influences
Yeah.
of lots of bands of the past, of the 60s, 70s, 80s even.
I don't even particularly think Josh sounds most like Robert Plant. I think he sounds like the lead singer of Rush, like more than
Yes.
Robert Plant. And that's hardly ever a comparison I see. It's always Zeppelin copy, Zeppelin cover band. I'm like, I mean, maybe, but I think there's other comparisons of vocal sounds if you really want to make those. But also, there are so many artists throughout time that sound like other artists. So what does that have to
That's
do with
how
anything?
art is made. That's how music is made. Like we're all influencing each other constantly. And it's very telling to me that the people who are saying this, mostly men, that are they're
I'm
only
sorry and
spewing
embarrassed on
It's okay,
behalf of all men.
not all Gresties, not all men.
Not all
No.
men.
But the whole concept of like you decided this a long time ago and it's like somebody else's idea. Like I had an ex who also thought that of Greta and it wasn't even his own idea. It was
Red
something
flag.
that was just exactly, right? But it was like a shared like idea that these men had just decided and I'm like I wonder first of all why when that happened, why that there's like a decided front that a lot of people have decided this together. And what is it about Greta that makes them feel so unsafe to make their own decisions about it, you know?
They're not willing
Yeah.
to put in the work to do their own research and figure out
Mhm.
that their take is wrong. And
Right.
saying that my take was wrong is not a manly thing to do, but it's
Mm,
the adult thing to do. So figure it out.
it is. It is. Y'all are
My
wrong.
um my favorite thing is going on to Facebook and seeing like the articles about Greta Van Fleet and going in the comments because people are like, these men never dress manly anymore. What has happened to rock and roll? And I'm thinking to myself, like, did you guys like ignore Elton John,
All
Freddie
of the
Mercury,
70s.
Kiss, Prince, like all
Literally.
of these people? Did you ignore them?
Literally. Yep, literally.
I have this poster on my wall, for those of you who are listening to this, is a picture of Elton John in the highest of heels that I've seen him in,
Mhm.
from
it.
Captain Fantastic.
Love that.
Captain Fantastic. Like
Mhm.
I recently came across a video of The Who,
Yes.
and it was him just screaming into the microphone. The people that are like, oh, they don't make rock like this anymore, are the same people that are saying Greta Van Fleet are copycats and are living in in the wake of Led Zeppelin, and they're just a cover band. It's like, no, you want this, but you're not accepting of it.
Right.
Open your mind to other opportunities. Imagine your favorite band of all
Mhm.
time 40 30 years 40 years later
Mhm.
50 years later, I don't know.
A while
All of a
later.
sudden there's new music. Yeah, a while later. All of a sudden there's new music that comes out that brings you back to your favorite band. Are you kidding me? That's like
Mhm.
the goal.
Yeah,
Right.
Truly.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
do
I
see a
feel
lot of older people in the comments saying that as well. I just feel like the younger generation is not on board with that, which is so weird. Like they're clinging to this idea that they weren't even around for. And I wonder if it's
Gen
like
X. It's Gen X specifically
yeah.
because literally I could talk to somebody who's like maybe boomer or before Gen X's time, and they're like, "Oh, that band's great. Like they're
Mhm.
really good with the rock and roll." And then I go talk to my mom and she's like, "They're just a Led Zeppelin copy." I'm like, "Mom, you don't even listen to Led Zeppelin. What are you talking about?" Like,
I've
Real.
heard other
Okay,
people say
real
that.
though. Real. Truly. I got into an argument with some Zepp stands one time, and then I was like, wait a minute, you don't even know what you're talking about, actually. What are you talking about?
Absolutely. I'm trying to look at my analytics on TikTok because I think the my biggest age range is 50 years old and above, which is
Love that.
really cool
interesting.
because yeah,
Yeah.
like talk about an age range of fans. I think that's so cool.
That is. We get for some reason we were looking at our analytics and it says that
Yeah.
our viewers are 90% male or 92%.
94.
94?
94% male.
And I was like,
So I'm like,
I feel like
slay, okay. As you should. Like, but also, huh?
Yeah.
Like,
I
weird.
mean,
You know?
good for everybody. Good for
Yeah.
all genders.
Greta is for everybody. Greta is for all genders. And I just wish that more people were accepting of that.
Yep.
You can't change people, and once people have their that are set in their ways, it's there's no going back for those people. There's no hope. And you know what? If they're not going to listen to Greta Van Fleet, fine, so be it. Who gives a shit? Don't listen. Keep commenting and helping our pages. It's fine.
Exactly.
More for us.
Speaking
Yeah,
of which,
exactly.
I would love to show off some of the replies that you've left, people that have left Zeppelin comments.
They're
There's
top
this
Let's
one.
go.
There's this one that like I keep reading and I can't help but laugh at because I'm like, that is hilarious. Hold on, if I can get it up and going.
I just
Throw
admire
somebody
in
read
general.
it.
Every time I see the people in your comments, it would exhaust me. It would truly exhaust me. And I admire that you don't give a shit and you just go for them every time.
Yeah,
So
you
if it makes you
go.
feel any better,
Mm.
any better, I do give a shit. But it's only because I only respond to those people when I'm on the toilet.
Yes.
I love that. Love that.
Yes.
That's amazing.
And that, but you know what else is even better though is like all the other Gresties like joining in on it. Like these Led Zeppelin watching Greta Van Fleet videos is so ridiculous because there's 3 or 4
Yeah.
different concerts in one video. Like that's happening at the same time and just people aren't understanding what's going on, and those are the people that vote, unfortunately. But but also yeah,
Those are the people who decide how much money I make. Super cool.
Uh-huh.
I love it. Thank you.
Those are the people who are voting on the rights to my body, so love that.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
can't
absolutely.
understand. God.
Yeah. Right. I have no idea where I was going.
You were
Where was
Do you want to
saying
look at
how
some?
Oh, yes,
Oh,
let's look at them, please.
yeah, it's fine.
Here, let me put it up. I love this one.
I saw that one. Oh my
So
God.
Clayton says, do they
Clayton
have more
Chris-
than one song? They all sound the same and they suck.
5 exclamation marks.
Also, they suck. By the way.
Also,
By
I
the
don't
way,
know if you knew this.
Just in case.
They suck. And you responded, Clayton, the more you comment on my videos, the more you see this band. Keep it going.
The more you comment, the more you see the band. And I really think that's where it comes from. They want to see these videos
do.
so that they can hate on it.
Yeah.
So you know what?
Why?
I
Love
don't
being
care.
haters. Because
Crazy.
my psychosocial whatever the fuck tells me I think they really do like it, but this is the only way that they can connect to it because something about it seems unsafe or unlike what they can enjoy. Like they're not letting themselves just love the things they love, you know? It's weird.
It's probably because one of their bros told them that Greta Van Fleet sucked, and now they have to do what the bros say.
Might have told them Greta Van Fleet's gay.
Oh, I mean, look at Clayton. Look at him in this picture. That just says it all. It says it all.
The way
Yeah.
his face is cut off.
Yeah. Oh, this is a
I'm
good
gonna
one.
sit like how he's sitting.
Yeah. Clayton pose. We're just coming for this man. Oh my god.
Okay,
I mean,
Clayton Chris, I love you.
Clayton Chris.
I'll give you a follow.
Love you.
Love you,
there
miss
you go,
you.
Clayton. Okay,
Oh yes.
this one. When Plant used head voice, his vocal timbre sounded
Timbre.
big.
Timbre.
What? Timbre?
No, timbre or timbre.
Timbre. I'll let you say it. It sounded big. Kiska's is like the little annoying version of Robert.
Which is
You
ridiculous.
said
It's stupid.
it is stupid. But I like your response, Robert who?
Yeah, Robert. I have like how formal. Robert? Who is Robert? I have a friend,
Who is
Robert from 2nd grade. He's a twin. Are we talking about him?
It might be him.
Which my memory's a bit foggy. Which Robert?
Can you remind me?
But also look at his photo.
Yeah,
And
what's
his
going on
name.
there? Joshua Roth.
Joshua.
His name is Joshua.
Joshua.
And this guy looks like a showman, you know? So
He
what's not
does.
to love?
They're jealous. I think they're jealous. I think they look at Josh and they say, there's something there that I want. They connect to, in all genuineness. Like, I think some people look at Greta and they think like, wow, I wish I could connect to myself so fully the way that that music does and those musicians do. And they don't want to do that. So they're like, actually, this sucks.
Maybe they wish they could look as good as Josh in a jumpsuit.
They do. I do.
Not for everybody. So
I couldn't make it look good.
You sure? I feel like you'd look good in like a big purple one, but just stars.
I could rock it. I'll have feathers coming out of my back. Yeah.
Yeah.
You should do a Danny
wanna
cape. Yeah. We didn't even ask you what's your lane. What's your
Do you
lane?
have a favorite? A
Do you have a
lane?
lane? Do you have a favorite?
I do. It's
your
not set
lane?
in stone or anything like that. It's not set in
Yes,
stone.
Of course.
It's Danny.
Yeah.
Danny Lane.
He's a Danny
Honestly,
girl. We love it.
I'm a Danny girl. Now, honestly, I've posted this, but I believe that he is he is the biggest brain of Greta Van Fleet.
I think that was the
Not
hot
that
take
anybody-
that I saw of yours that I agreed with. I think that was it because
Yeah.
I fully agree. I fully agree.
Yes.
I think they're a very
Broken
collaborative
Bells.
band.
Yeah, for sure.
Broken Bells. Can I mention something about Broken Bells, by the way?
Bells.
Yes. Hold on. I'll take this off the stage for the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll
so
stop looking at
Broken
the
Bells.
hate.
Yeah, God, negativity. Ooh. So Broken Bells, I believe, is a song about redemption. It's a song about overcoming. I think in Broken Bells is after the battle at Garden's Gate, where there once was people walking by, but now through broken glass, that he sees reflections and flashbacks of people walking by, but there's no one to look at anymore because it's just a battleground. Also, let me pull up the lyrics because
I know I'm looking at them too.
I've been thinking about this.
Well, you'd be
God.
right too, because if the planet is still like, it's hard to feel like the world will still continue after a huge thing like that. Like the planet is still turning. We went to war, everything was awful, but the planet is still turning.
Right. And they also mention sweeping off the pavement with a parlor broom. I always picture like in the movies, like after some shit happens, they're always like a lonely old shop owner like cleaning up the rubble, you know.
Mhm.
Between the cracks of sidewalks, there's a flower grown. That's like showing perseverance through like the start of something positive again.
Yeah.
My theory.
Guys, I just realized something that I don't think we've talked about on the podcast. Lindsay, correct me if I'm wrong. Did you know the vinyl insert for Starcatcher has an extra verse for Waited All Your Life on it?
Yeah, no. We need to talk about it right now. I forgot. I forgot that we hadn't talked about it because this is crazy that nobody's talking about this. I completely forgot.
Okay, I'm going to read it for our audio listeners, right? So it's the last lyric is supposed to be "Don't go away," and then it fades out. But on the vinyl insert, it has this extra part. You've had the journey of an entire lifetime to come home to that place you'd been searching for, awaiting you there, a family to celebrate a new life with, a rebirth, a land of promise cradled in the infinity of a sunset. The solar season has begun.
Where is this?
And Waited All Your Life, right on the, for those watching, you can see where I'm pointing it out. So the second song.
Oh my God.
Right?
Yeah.
How did we miss this? It's been months since it came out.
What does it mean? What is that?
What does it
Why
mean?
would they add that in? That's intentional. Bastards.
I hate these
You've
guys.
had the journey of an entire lifetime to come home to that place you'd been searching for, awaiting you there. This is very spiritual.
Wait, My Way Soon.
Yeah.
My Way Soon. This connect. Wait, why am I struggling? I have but a lifetime seen so long, but it flies by.
When it flies by.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I had to put this at the end of the episode, of course. I had to remember this, but it's whatever.
The solar season has begun. The solar season has begun. I don't know. Who knows? I listened to your podcast to figure out what it all means. So figure it out, please. Thanks.
Okay. All right. We'll try.
We'll get on it.
We'll have to. Lindsay and I will have to discuss this in the next episode. So there's your cliffhanger, guys. We're gonna analyze this for the next 2 weeks and let our brains explode. It's crazy to me.
Yep.
I forget who posted about it, but credit to whoever actually found it. But
I don't know how I missed this. Like literally, my For You page is all Greta Van Fleet. Obviously, I don't know how I missed these videos.
I feel like
on
the people
Instagram. It was a post. Somebody had posted it.
And I wonder if your guys' algorithms are similar to mine. I have to look hard for theory stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I don't think there's a ton of people talking about it the way we are, or if they are, it doesn't pick up traction. And so I'm really hoping more people get on like this vibe so that more people talk about it. So we have more puzzle pieces. You know what I mean? Because other people notice stuff. They really do. So if you notice something out there.
Do you ever think there will be an official, this is the story of the universe, the Greta Van Fleet universe?
No.
No.
I think they're going to tease us till the end of time. I don't think they fully know the story. They just have a general guideline of where they want things to progress. But I don't think there's like a definite story. We've talked about it being like interlocking stories in a way. Like it's different, but they all connect somehow. But
yep.
They're going to tease us forever.
I want to kind of, before we go, I want to ask a couple questions, and I want to have your official answers if you can, but they'll, nothing has to be set in stone. We kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, but I got 4 questions for both of you.
Okay.
We can go around the room. I don't know if you saw Spotify recently, but they had this time capsule thing, and they asked these questions, which is really cool. I want to hear your take. I don't know if did you already talk about it?
We did them together, but we
did it together,
on the podcast.
Not on the podcast? Okay. So then what would be a song you'd bring to a desert island?
It'd have to be a Greta song. Otherwise, I think I'd go crazy.
Which Greta song?
I think Weight of Dreams encaptures being stranded on an island for me. And
is that the one you would listen to?
It's certainly the longest. If I
Mhm.
need
The
my
most
Greta
time.
fix, yeah, no, I agree.
No, I lied. I love Stardust chords, but I
Yeah,
need to appreciate it every now and again, not like constantly blare it. But I think I could listen to Age of Man on repeat. I think I
I
could do it.
do currently. So,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's my
right,
desert
exactly.
island.
mhm.
So one song on a desert island. Zoe, go.
Age of Man.
Lindsay,
It's gotta be Way to
5.
Dreams. It's not even my favorite, but like it just would be what I would need there, you know?
Fine. Yeah. You don't need
Mm.
to explain yourself. Flower
Okay,
power
good.
for me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Next, a song you wish was longer.
Runway Blues.
Classic. I'm gonna say the
I just
same.
need to hear that Jake solo. I need it. Like, it sounds so bluesy and good. Give it to me.
I think I
Ugh.
would say Runway Blues also because on the album it's it's right before the midpoint. It's when you have to flip to side B.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So I th- I think that would set up the second part of the album better. And I want to
Yeah.
hear if I would appreciate it more if I heard a longer version.
Yeah. I
Because
agree.
I feel like Runway Blues would be perfect for like, all right, we're about to start the madness of a tour. Here we go.
Yeah.
Yes.
And all of a sudden Runway Blues
You're
starts and it's
so
like I
right.
just picture a montage of them like I just picture a plane of their faces like through the windows and like going through the map, like a movie.
Yes. That'd be so fun.
It
I
gives me
feel
like
like
Home Alone when they're running through the airport vibes, you
yeah.
know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
That is you're so right, actually. That's so it. I see, because I should say Runaway Blues because I do wanna hear the rest of it, but I also know that there's a rest of it, you know, and I know that there's other
Mm.
songs that don't have a rest of it, and I wish they had more. And I had a really big Barbarians phase over the summer, but I listened
Wow.
to the slowed down version, like a reverb version
Oh.
of it,
Hmm.
because it's so it hits a part in my brain that is, like, very unique, and it always just, like, scratches an itch, and so I
Hmm.
almost wish the Barbarians was a little bit longer. So, deep
It's
cut,
fair.
but yeah.
Deep cut. Deep. That's
Eh,
like a deep song. I feel like
Yeah.
it's
it's
hard
so
hitting.
good, and
Yeah.
it's just, like, very, like it's just in the pocket, and you're like, "Oh, are we I don't know. Are we renegades? I don't know."
I don't
God,
know. Tell
man,
me.
it's
Just tell me, man. I don't know. I love that one.
So moving on then. I already said Age of Man would be my song I played for aliens if they visited Earth.
Yes.
yeah, I think
Your
we can
answers.
all agree.
I'll agree.
I
Age
Okay.
of Man.
agree with your choice.
Mhm.
Not only because it's a great song, but also because it tells the story of men.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
that's the obvious answer right there. About your favorite
Mhm.
lyric.
Oh,
I should have asked you beforehand to figure this one out, but what was the one that
Yeesh.
just came to mind just now when I asked that question? Doesn't have to be your
any of the
final answer,
lyrics
but
from anything from The New Day. That song like heals my soul. Um,
it's a healing.
just anything from that song really could be a favorite for
Wow.
me. That's
I
like
forget about that song.
I forgot about it, and then one day I was having a really rough day, and it was one of those moments where I was listening to like slower Greta, and then that song came on, and I was like, "Oh wait, yeah, yeah, this is it. This is what I needed right now."
Yeah,
Hmm.
And it just clicks. It's a good morning song.
it is. Hmm.
It's a healing song. It's a feel good song. That's how I feel about Mountain of the Sun.
Yes,
Yeah.
So
that one was
fun.
fun.
That one's very feel good.
It's
I'm
so
trying to
fun.
Even though
when
I
you
was singing
said
the
it,
lyrics wrong.
Huh?
you got them
I
right now.
I thought Josh was singing "You're My Soldier" instead of "You're My Sunshine" for like a year and a half.
An
So,
embarrassingly long amount of time.
It's
yes.
okay. I didn't know what he was singing for like when I first listened to them for a long time. It's like, why do they make it so hard to hear? or so. But then I changed like settings on Spotify, and I'm like, oh, here, that's this. Like, I got it. Never mind. Also, hearing the music or reading the lyrics, it's like it was obvious what he was saying all
Yeah.
along. I don't know why
Yeah.
that just everything changed.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, he has a very sharp Midwestern accent, and he doesn't necessarily care about his vowel placement. So I mean, the weird, dumb little vocal pedagogy that I was telling Zoe is that the placement for sunshine for him it's in a place in his mouth that's not normal for the word sunshine. Like if you say sunshine, it's more nasally. Sunshine. He like swallows his vowels a lot because he's from Michigan. Soldier. So he's putting it further back in his mouth. But that's the cool thing about Josh is that like he just plays with his vocals so much. Like it's all over the board, and he doesn't really like pick one tone, and it's very unique. I like it.
He literally uses his voice as an instrument.
It is.
Like
He plays the fucking vocals, Sam.
And then his Midwestern accent for sure. Even though it's Jake, but
Mhm.
they are twins, so they stole our font.
Yeah.
Um,
font.
lyric.
I used
Still
to
our
play
font.
soccer. I love
job.
I didn't have a job.
Dan, when you said that and you said, what's the first one that comes to your mind? I immediately thought Light My Love, which was my song of the summer, like Hate Bound by Fear Will Unwind, because I had a religious experience listening to that in the car over the summer. Because I didn't understand it at first. I was like, what does that mean? Like hate bound by fear. I didn't think of it as like hate, comma, bound by fear will unwind. Hate bound by fear. Like I didn't think of the like paraphrasing or like the connections of the phrase. And then when I realized I was weeping in my car. Like, oh my God, yes. It has to unwind. Like and it will. And we saw that it did. Like, fuck. But I think all in all, my favorite lyric is even sinners go to drink the wine, break the bread.
It's a good choice.
Drink the wine.
It's almost like Stardust Chords isn't my favorite song. I didn't pick that for any of these questions.
It
I
is.
have it
Stardust
on my
Chords?
body.
F tier. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Oh my God. I was about to be like, bye!
I know. I know that's
Bye-bye.
a big thing on socials right now is the tears of
Oh,
rain.
yeah. That was our first episode.
It was.
Yeah.
You questioned my comment. I left a comment on somebody's video who they were putting the needle down, and Stardust Chords started playing, and I was like, oh my God, best song. I need to put my head in front of the speakers and like inhale the song. And you were like, is this real? I was like,
so
yeah.
good.
And I want to
That's so
demonstrate
good.
to you, right?
Oh.
Here's my vinyl. I'll push the speakers together and put my head in between them. No joke. I have to be like
a little
immersed
chamber
in the song.
That's probably the best experience you could have.
Exactly.
It's enrichment time in the enclosure for sure.
So I thought about my favorite lyric, and I think old me, old Dan, old Greta Van Fleet would say, "Don't make me beg now, baby. Don't make me bleed. I gave you all a man could give, and you still walked out on me." I
Love
think
that one.
everybody can relate to that, and just the way
Yeah.
he like screams it, and you could feel that emotion.
The top
I
of his
feel like
range.
a lot of people, yeah, when you're going through like a relationship that the other person's not giving you what you need, and you
Yeah.
are giving everything, you feel what he's feeling in that. Doesn't matter what gender you are, whoever you, yeah, that just it hits home in a lot of scenarios when going through a shitty relationship. But I think I'm gonna agree with Light My Love, with Your Mind is a Stream of Colors, extending beyond our sky. It Since his coming out publicly on social media, that song has a little bit different meaning now to me. I think is my favorite song of his. It's my song that I dedicate to my wife, because when I hear that lyric, that's how she makes me feel in my brain.
I'm gonna cry. I love
And that would be the tattoo that I get. I thought about it right here.
Do it.
But I
It's
also
the
don't
best
want to
spot.
I want to make sure. Yeah. You guys went, and I was like, oh, this is pushing me to go.
We
Highly
committed to the
recommend.
bit.
We did.
I
Yeah.
have 2 Greta tattoos now, so hopefully I still like them in 40 to 50 years.
This won't be
Here's
my last.
Yeah, no, so
True.
don't think the way I have a Mets tattoo on my leg, a New York Mets tattoo. I'm not a huge fan, but I look at that tattoo, people are like, "Oh, do you regret getting it?" I'm like, "No, because it was a time in my life that it tells the story of a time in my life." So have that be, even if you don't listen to them in 50 years, that's still that time period of
It's
your
true.
life that you have obviously super important.
True.
At one point, I am gonna get the Light My Love circle that's unwinding tattooed somewhere.
Mm,
And I want it to be in a rainbow because it really is like it's the perfect example of like what that line means and what that song is about to me. Is like you could have this perfect cylindrical thing, but instead the beauty is coming out of like the sound waves. It's like it looks like sound waves to me. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
it's so emblematic of like what the whole song is. It's like synesthesia in a song, right? I don't know if you've listened to any of the episodes where we've talked about it, but
Synesthesia. What the fuck is that?
synesthesia. So it's basically
It's Lindsay's
any
weird little mutant habit thing that she has.
mutant.
Synesthesia.
So basically all it is and everybody experiences it to some degree. If I asked you what color is math, what color would you tell
Blue.
me? Okay, there you go. That's synesthesia. So it's not blue
Wow.
to me. Yeah. It's
Is it
taking
red?
it's red. It's red.
Nah,
It's red.
Yeah.
science is red to me.
Wait.
No,
What
science is
is
green.
science? Science is green.
Green. Great, thank you.
Red.
This is why we're besties.
English though.
English?
English can change.
Green.
English is purple or blue or black to me.
I always
Is
had
this
my
because in high
English
school we had
called
different binders colors?
There's
Yeah.
also that, but there's a commonality between a lot of people who experience synesthesia of like colors and numbers having different like it can have like some people experience like smells and scents, but a lot of people the most common one is uh, seeing colors and shapes as it relates to sounds. So when I hear a
Wow.
chord, like I'll play a chord on a piano, I relate it to a color in my brain. That is just kind of like I don't choose it. It just like is a occurrence that happens.
Mm,
So
that's
yeah.
really interesting.
We could talk forever.
We could. It's so fun. But
Let's do it again.
with
Yeah.
all good things, they must come to an end.
Ugh.
I just want to share one last image of a comment that I liked that
Please.
you made to end the podcast with.
Okay.
Sounds like a pissed off Muppet. And he responded, "He's a Muppet of a man."
Yes,
'Cause
he is.
is.
If any of them are Muppets, tell me it's not
It's Josh.
Josh.
It's
It's
Josh.
Josh. He's a
I'm pretty
very
sure
man
there are 2 gremlins inside of a man suit
Yes.
underneath
They're
his
just running
onesie.
around trying to keep up with all of it.
Barely.
He is ADHD personified and he is just a lovely little whatever you want to call it. Little elf. He's an elf man.
He's a free elf. He does whatever he wants.
He's Dobby. the free elf.
He is a free elf.
Literally. Literally, I
Oh.
love him.
I can't believe we have to be done. Ugh.
Parting is such sweet sorrow. But Dan, where can we find you? If our listeners, all 10 of them, don't follow you, where can they follow you?
On TikTok and Instagram, it's at GrestieVanFleet.
That's Grestie with an IE, folks, in case you don't know how to spell it.
Yes.
Please
Maybe
be
I
sure to
should.
go follow.
Thank you.
And we are, just a reminder, we're on Apple Podcasts now. We did that, so if you guys don't have Spotify, but you have Apple, you can find us there. If you're listening on audio, you could find us on video. If you're listening to us on video but need to go drive your car, you can hop over to the audio. So you can find us those places. And Lindsay, I always forget, what's our TikTok and our Instagram?
Wait, where can we find the video?
Oh, the
YouTube.
video's on YouTube.
Podcast of the Peaceful
YouTube.
Army on YouTube and Peaceful Army Pod on TikTok, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Podcast.
I don't know why we
If you
did that.
type that in, it'll come up.
Yeah, you'll
Yeah.
find us. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this episode. This was a very fun episode. It's our first host, so we hope you guys enjoyed it. Let us know what you think down in the comments. Be sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Go follow our new Grestie, and we'll see you in 2 weeks for episode 9.
9? Oops.
8's my lucky
9.
number.
Wow.
Perfect.
Look at that. It was meant to
Back
be.
at it. Yeah. See, I told you
Hey.
it was a long con. It was the plan all along.
Exactly. And you're going to come back and we'll have more theories and we'll be ready.
Next time I'll get a whiteboard and then we can talk about like dates and timelines and we can really hammer down these theories. Timeline
will.
order.
Love it.
Be there,
love it.
Peaceful Army.
Be there, be square. But we'll see you in 2 weeks before we
Thanks for
get
having
into
me.
all of that.
Bye,
Of course. Thank you for
Gresties.
joining. Bye,
My pleasure.
everyone.